Record. Alrighty, so Google Keep is a pretty awesome resource that you can use and your students can use. And the purpose of Google Keep is to be able to save your thoughts, really, or save your notes. And for me, I consider it a great place to brain dump information. But it's way more than that, and Eric's going to be talking about it later this week as well when he talks about browser extensions. So I'm not going to go into the browser extension too much, but we will see that a little bit. So in Google Keep, I mean, imagine if you have Post-it notes around. I have Post-it notes all around me right now, all different kinds, all different colors, with all different things I think, you know, are super important for me to do. But I might not get them all done if I lose my notes or can't find them, right? Or find them weeks later when I should have already had something done. So in Google Keep, you can just write things down, you can keep lists, you can share lists with other people, and it's just a nice way to keep things all in one place. And you can use it on the computer, you can use it on a mobile device, and you can use it on a tablet. Alrighty, so this is a short video. Very short.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be nice to have a central place where you could save what's on your mind? With Google Keep, you can stay on top of your world by quickly and easily organizing everything you want to remember. No matter where you are.
Finalize door list for Thursday's gig.
So when you find inspiration, you can file away your ideas. And Google Keep stores them safely across all your devices. And when the time comes, you'll have everything covered. Save what's on your mind. Google Keep.
Oh, that's a great slogan. Save what's on your mind. That's really great. Like I said, you can get this automatically. You can get the extension we're not going to talk about today necessarily. You can get the app right away, no problem. There are voice notes in the mobile app, so, and everything syncs up. I don't use the app too much, but I realized when they said clear out your mind, maybe what I should be doing is using Google Keep more than I use the Notes app on my phone. It really depends on kind of your need and your use. So I go through ups and downs with using Google Keep, and currently I'm in an up mode, and I think it's because I have a ton of different resources. So this is my Google Keep page. You simply go to keep.google.com and you can get started there. It's very, very easy. So if you look on the left, I have a list of labels. You can think of them as folders to keep track of the different things you have to do. So for instance, my goal this year was coding lessons for K-2, and I quickly became overwhelmed with the amount of resources that I needed and planning and different things like that. And I was keeping a Google Doc, but that just wasn't working for me. So one of the main things I needed was access to this spreadsheet. So I saved the spreadsheet into Google Keep. I did it right from the spreadsheet or right from my Google Drive. And now in here, I can click this link and it'll open the spreadsheet. And I also have a link to the website. I made a lot of different notes about this. Here you go, all kinds of things, different emails, different websites, all the different resources, pictures of the kids, things that I could use later when it was time to come back and write up my goal summary for the year. I was keeping it all in Google Keep, plus some resources that I might want to share later. So let's just get started on how that works. Just ignore all these things that I have pinned here and notice this top box where it says take a note. This is going to be the crux of your use of Google Keep. Up at the top, you would put a title, and this is your note title. So I'm just going to make mine all about Google Keep. I think I already have a Google Keep board, actually. And then in my note, I would say the things I want to do, the things I want to talk about. So I need the slides. I have to set up the meeting. And you're thinking, well, that's a list, Michelle. Well, right here, I can show check boxes so that I could check these things off. And I am a huge list maker. So calendar invite, which I think most of you probably got, get a good video, all the things I would want to do. So now I have a Google Keep note and it's loose in my notes folder. If I decided that I wanted to have a Google Keep folder for that note, don't worry, it didn't go away. It's under all my pinned things. Here it is. I could pin it. Now it'll be at the top, right here where I need it. But if you pin everything, it loses its effectiveness. I could add a label, and I could say, wait a minute, I need a Google Keep folder. And then over here on the left, now I have a Google Keep folder or label, but all my notes are available in Notes, and that's why it's so crowded for me. You can do some other things. You can capture a picture. You can do a drawing if you have a touchscreen device. So here I have my touch screen, and I can, save my signature if I wanted to, and it'll save that as a note. And obviously, if I don't choose a label, which I would do right here, I could add it to one of my existing labels. I can also remind myself. You can set this up on your phone that it'll remind you something when you're leaving a location or doing something like that. I can add a collaborator. So you can have a collaborator on your notes. I have some shared notes. I can make this one a color if I wanted. You can add an image, and I could archive it, which is kind of like deleting. So now I have that note. Remember, it's not lost. It's just down here because I haven't pinned it. When I go over to my Google Keep board, I have both of those things available right there. You can start the new list automatically by using this button, or like I said in the notes, once you get started, you can go ahead and show the checkboxes this way or add your drawing. So those are some of the features on the site. There are plenty more. Here is my archive, and then here is my trash. So that's 7 days if that lasts. I would recommend that you get started with Google Keep simply by making yourself a note and then revisiting the Google Keep page a couple of times during a week. I have it on my bookmarks bar, and the way you do that is simply grab the little handle right here and drag it down to your bookmarks bar, and now Google Keep will be one of my go-to resources. So that's kind of a tour of what the site looks like. I have a few more slides for you. We already talked about making lists, and I like to start there because I'm big on list making. Adding images, I think this is really good. Don't forget that your students all have access to Google Keep, and you have it with every Google account. So I have Google Keep, this is my school account. I have Google Keep with my personal Gmail, and I keep, obviously different notes for different things. Changing note color, we went over that. Adding a label, that's a way to organize your notes. Now, this is something that we haven't talked about too much, is that you can interact with other Google products from Google Keep or from the other products. So in this case, if I have a note in Google Keep and I decide, wait a minute, this has to be a doc, I need to do more with it, you have the option to copy that note to Google Docs, which I think is very helpful. When you're in your Google Docs, okay, this is really great. This is a Google Doc. Under Tools, you have the option to transfer information from a doc into Google Keep. I have talked about Google Keep with some high school students as a research place, a place to keep track of maybe things like note cards. I know we have note card resources that kids are using at the high school level. But if we don't use those, or if in this different sort of environment, or maybe they're on the go on their mobile device, then Google Keep might be a really great resource for them to keep track of their different files, links, all kinds of things to support a research project. You can also, let's see if we have it in here. Well, dragging and dropping, that's very easy to reorganize your notes. The reminder, I have only used this a couple of times, but when you set the remind me, so you can pick a date and time, which is very nice, but this is what I was saying, you can pick the place. So I had this before, if you had to take a certain medication, you could say, remind me when I leave this place. We're not going as many places lately, so that one might not be as important. You can share your notes with others. I know that Eric and I have some shared notes, things that we can communicate about. It doesn't share the whole Keep folder, just the individual notes. Archiving, so saving for later, which I'm big on doing because I'm a little scared sometimes to trash things. You can keep science notes. I think this is a really great thing you could show to kids. And I know now that you can keep a comment bank and different things in Google Docs, but this is a video that I'll put these slides on our website. You could watch this one. It's about using Keep for grading with comments in Docs. I think that could be very interesting for folks to take a look at. The last thing I wanted to show you is in Google Calendar. Over on the right, we're going to talk more about this. There's a little, this is the Keep icon. If you can see it on the far right here, it's yellow. And also when I'm in my Gmail, it's right here, it's yellow, okay? So when I say I like this information right here about new slides, choice board template, which actually I do, I would click on Google Keep. And now I could take a note from this email. You can see it's attached to the email. And I can do all those same sorts of things. And here's my 3 dots. I can put it into Keep. I obviously don't want to delete it yet. And then I can click Done. So now here it is right here. And when I go over to Google Keep, let's just take a little look. Remember, it's not going to be pinned. I probably should have clicked to pin it. Scroll down below all my pinned tabs, or all my pinned resources. Keep going. There it is, right here. And when I click on this, it's going to open the email. Now, if you delete the email, it's not going to work quite as well. So that's something to keep in mind. And you can do the same thing on your calendar. I can bring up Keep over here. I can see all my Keep notes. And if I wanted to, I could take a note from one of these events and then it'll put it into my Google Keep. So those are some of my favorite things about Google Keep. I'm going to check and see what kind of questions we might have had there. I'm new to Google Keep, never heard of it, new. Oh, great. I hope that you will be able to use some of this. I'm going to ask if you have any questions or any thoughts about how you might use this for yourself or with students.
I thought of a great idea with kids that are absent. If you could have a note taker, and then if there were certain slides that were done with a teacher that they didn't particularly share, that note taker could take a picture of it and keep it in the note, and then they could share those notes with those whoever were absent.
That's a good idea. All right, somebody asked about how to make the label. You click the 3 dots on your Keep note, and then there'll be the option to either create a new label or choose from your existing list of labels. Has anybody else been taking a lot of Post-it notes, or is it just me? I wish there was a way I could turn all your cameras on.